This is how you finish tracks, and I think it's done by simplifying your patterns. Let's get into that. That's today's video. You ready? Let's go do it right now. Hey, what's up? I'm Analog Kitchen and thank you for checking out yet another video. Now, if this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe and hit that notification bell. Whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop and you'll not miss out on anything. Stick around to the end of this video. I'll tell you all about music I've uploaded on Bandcamp, all about the merch stuff, also about our community, on how to get in touch with a like-minded, cool crew of people that will help you get along in your process of making flawless music. I'll tell you a little secret. Even I myself sometimes get caught up in why I can't seem to finish different tunes. It just doesn't work. Now, if somebody comes up to me and tells me, here is my track, can you look at it? And they give me 5 or 6 different tracks and I load them into my DAW, or I stick some cool stuff on my live set. Why can I then finish it easily? But when it comes to my own music, I can't seem to finish it. And I started to think, what actually is happening here? How can I analyze the process in order for me to not go there? I mean, we're all busy. Most of us got kids or whatever, and life just happens. It means that the time that you have to spend on your sometimes hobby or craft or whatever, you know, you can't have all the time in the world. At least sometimes you need to eat and sleep. So, rave repeat. But you know what I mean? It is a problem. So what can you do to actually finish tracks? If you follow this channel, you know about the call and response and the ABC structure that I talk about. If not, do browse around. You'll find it out pretty quickly. But it will mean that you will have to do certain steps in order to complete one cycle and get to the next cycle of creativity. That's what the ABC structure stands for. And if you abandon it prematurely, it means you have an unfulfilled feeling, which means you like to finish that or complete it. We all, as human beings, want to complete stuff. We want to make stuff that is finished, right? So what you would see is you can sometimes go in and go like, oh yeah, boom. You have to sometimes trick yourself into getting to that point where you know what it is that you want, or to finish at least. That's one. Have an open mind. Whenever I play something with these synthesizers, I tend to not overthink what is happening. So, for instance, with the DFAM or also with the TB03, those are machines that pretty much do their own thing, and you either like what you're hearing or not. But if you don't, you can tweak it and tweak it to the point where you do find something that you like, which is a very immediate, kind of fast process. That also gives inspiration. So sometimes you have to just like deliberately look for those kind of influences in order for you to finish it. So get to a point easily, get to a point fast where it's easy to get like in the vibe, and then move to the hard stuff later. Ask yourself, why am I doing what I'm doing? What is it that I want? So what kind of artist am I? Do I want to be like the biggest DJ in the world? Do I need to just be somebody that just jams around in their own home? Is it just a hobby? It's very clear to have a perspective on the scope of where you would like your endeavor, your creative endeavor to go. If you expect too much, you're always going to end up being disappointed. And I do think that it's very important to not get disappointed, because it's supposed to be fun, right? That's the first thing. So, you know, set reasonable goals to where you want stuff to go and find your own sweet spot. If bass lines is your forte, you should go in that direction. If groove is your forte or beat making, go in that direction. If melodies and playing harmonies is your forte, go in that direction. Start with something that would not really bug you too much and gets you fired up, and move to the hard stuff later. Also, a thing that happens to me a lot of times is looking at polymeters and polyrhythms. Anything off a 4/4 grid that breaks it up 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of a sudden the becomes
huh? What? Oh. Okay.
That all of a sudden triggers me like, whoa, what happens? Is it 3/4? Is it 5/4? Oh, from the minute I can't really pinpoint where the groove is coming from, I know exactly where it's coming from. If I can find the measure because they're all like, you know, drifting from one another, still in the same groove, that also is a big point of inspiring myself. So today with the RK008, I will play a Polymeter and you'll see how a otherwise sequenced bass line will now become something of a hypnotizing groove, which sets the pattern apart from where you were in the first place. So you do something that you did not expect and you let the machine run it for you. Also a very, very strong point in order to think like, okay, you know what, I think this track is finished. My objective is I'd like to make a tune that works on the dance floor that people instantly get into. And the thing that I've seen throughout my career is that it doesn't even matter what language is being spoken. People can speak Chinese and people can speak Surinamese and people can speak Dutch or English or French or German or whatever. If you're on a dance floor with international people, the vocal communication part fades away. But that instant rudimentary jam of the vibe of what's happening music-wise, now you all of a sudden get to have this whole conversation with different people. Now that is exactly what you would want, but it's the immediacy of things that you don't need to think about. So the overthinking, the getting to a point where you're, what am I listening to? That should also go out of the equation. Just play, just jam, just get on with it. I think that's that. I think the talking part is over, and I think that it's time to just like take you into the live set and see what we can do. You ready? Let's go do it. Now when it's up to me to finish a track, most often I always think too complicated about stuff. Now, what are we going to do today? I'm going to briefly go over what I've got on the desk right here. There's 3 guitar pedals sitting right here that I use. The DD500 is connected to the DFAM. The subsequent 37 is connected to the Strymon, and the kick drum is going through this Falco KGB distortion. Right, so I've got nothing coming out of the sends on this mixer that I got sitting right here, being the EPM 8, right? So I've got my sounds all split out right here. There's a TR99 drum computer that we're going to use through MIDI today. I'm going to get into that as well. There's a black box sitting right here that is not going to be used today as I don't have enough inputs on the desk, as is the TBO3. That's going to just like sit there on the back burner for a while. I've got the JPO8 sitting here, the Minitar sitting right here. There's an Acid Box 3 through which the JPO8 is routed, and then there's an RK008, the intricate brain of the operation right here, on which we're going to do a few things that I think are very important. And there's the 006. Now on the 006, there's a few things that I've got mapped over on this side, so, and over on that side. So this side right here, it's the other way around really, because this is channel 1, so it's got 10 MIDI channels and going out and 2 ins right here. On this side, I've only got MIDI. On this side, I've got CV and triggers and that kind of stuff. So I can, initially, on a future video, I'll show you that, use the Arturia Mini-Lab 3 to use my modulation wheel to just like even get filters on this, or which is the DFAM filters on the Minitar or whatever, so I can map that away so that I can record it into the 008 as it being, stuff that you can get to from fly. I'm looking for the word automation here. So that's how we're going to actually run it today. Now, the operation is quite simple. I need to get my bearings of some sort, which I don't know what's happening right now. So what I'm going to do is see where I am. I've got on the 008, I've got 5, the other 5 to 8, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are my drum channels on which I'm going to record drums. 1, 2, and 3 are the synths, right? Synths that I have to address via MIDI. As if you know, the DFAM's got its own sequencer. You can debate that the subsequent has it as well, but I'm using this to run on its own, the DFAM, and the rest I will just program in. So I'm going to start from scratch, hence the finishing the track. Now what I'm going to do is first I'm going to See if I can get that DFAM to run, maybe on 8. So, clap right here. I can see that that is moving. Cool. I'm going to just like place triggers in. That's what I want, because I needed to figure out where my groove is, right? Let's quantize it first. Quantize is off, quantize. I'm using 1 through 9. And there's an instant groove going, bam. Now this is also a trick that I use. I don't really think, you know? I just play it, and whatever the robots come up with, I'll run with that, right? So, cool. I'm gonna go to track 5. Put the quantize on. Cool, we've got our kick going. So now I can set up the drums, yeah? Pretty easy. Let's go to take it out of record. It's quantized already, so as I said, if you hit Alt and 6, it says quant, which means quantize. Then you can set the different the resolution on tracks 1 through, yeah, all the way up to 9, I think. Yeah, definitely. So, and 6, see, that's different quantize. There you go. So it will just set the quantize in a different way. Different track. What am I going to use? Clap. Cool. I think it's got that going on. Okay. Now we're going to go for a hi-hat. Let's go for a close hi-hat first. So we're going to go to track, different track. Let's say. Okay, I'm not even overthinking what's happening right here. This is just the groove, right? Now, I think that within the clap that I'm going to just keep on all the time, or the kick, let's go back to the kick. Track 5, no, not while recording, okay. So first turn it off, track 5. I'm just instantly going to play in a tom, as I think that this groove will work with a tom groove in there. So, not thinking, going in. You instantly have a track. Now, this is it. Move on, you know what I mean? This did not take me too long. I think it took me about, like, what, 5 minutes to just get this groove going, right? Now I'm going to turn off the DFAM, because it's not what I want right now, but it gave me an idea to get in the groove. So that's off. Cool. Now let's focus on what do we have right here. The next step for me is a bass line. Now, let's see where I am. If I'm taking Alt, I'm out of there. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, bam, that's where we're going. So the length of this pattern is 16 steps, right? 16 is 4 bars, right? 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and then it repeats, which is similar to what an octatrack does, you know, or what different synthesizers can do. For instance, the IK Multimedia, the Pro, you know, Synth Pro X, that also got like 4 banks of 16 steps, where the 909 only got 16 steps, which is 1 bar. You can link up patterns together so it can play different things, but it will be a little bit difficult to play different things in order to make a song. And if I was to say I was going to play something with my kick drum, like here, bam, bam, bam. Let's go here. Say I'm going to go in and play something, bam, bam, bam. 1, 2, 3, boom. So now I've got a groove in the bass drum. towards the end of the bar, 2, 3. This is impossible to program on a 909 in an easy way, that if you wanted to switch patterns, you need to just like engage all these patterns that will be linked up together. Now, pattern linking is cool, but that's a completely different situation. I will go for a bass line. Now, you set your MIDI channels ahead of time. You can do it pretty easy on the RK008. So what I will do to simplify my stuff is I'll place the Minitar on MIDI channel 10, which means alt output. It already says MIDI channel 10, but that's where you set your MIDI channel, which means that now and what I will do to simplify this pattern, first I'll play something that spans over 4 bars, and then I will simplify that one. Yep. Bam, 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 bam. So you can clearly hear that there's a little bit of a melody going. Boo, chord, doo doo doo, chord, doo doo doo, and back to the same thing. So that spans now over the 4 bars that we have. Different MIDI channel, we'll go in, which is the JP08, ran through. Now, what is important for my simple pattern is to not start to follow the chords that I just played. I can easily go. But if I was to change something here, all of a sudden I've got a pattern thingy going here. So I will record in and go, just keep it going. 1, 2, 3, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, done. Boom. So now that's repeating. Got that recorded, and then I can play around with this. So what have we got so far? So turning all these things off, these are my mutes that I've also got mapped away. So there's a mute here, mute here, mute here, a mute here, mute here, mute here, mute here. I see the 5 is still off, 5 is here, bam. So now nothing blinks. So this means that blinking 1, turning off. That's my bass line, and then 5 is the kick drum. It's already engaged, but you know, which means that if I'm playing it, cool, all right, we got that. So I know 1, 2, 3, 4, music, 5, 6, 7, 8, beats. I'll simplify it right there. So here, clap. Nice. Thinking that I can even go in and think, can I add something to the clap here? So I'm going to add something to it, 2, 3, so record, boom, ta, 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 ba, ta, ta, boom, ta, boom, ta, ba, da, boom, ta, boom, ta, bam, bam, ta, ba, da. Cool. I think that this first one, I don't like it too much. This one, so I'm going to take that out. Which means I am going to say, get out of there, Alt release. And enter. Bam, 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 da-ba-dam. So 1, 2, 3, keep it simple. And towards the end of the bar, I'm going to go for my little roll. Da-ba-dam. Cool. Yeah. Yep, I'm liking that. Now you can hear that the simplified stuff starts already from the tom that's having a little boogie with a kick, right? So I'm liking that. So now my hi-hat goes in. Nice. So that's already here. And then you can just like play around with what you're doing right here, right? So now the trick for me is, I'm going to introduce something that I think really helps to create a simplified sort of groove, right? this is music. Boom, 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 da-da-dum, boom. It now gives me an incentive to really play more, and like you said, like with the pads, oh, everything's going everywhere. If I wanted to simplify it, there's a trick on the RK008 that I really adore. Now I'm going to go to track 1, and I'm going to think like, okay, can I make a polymeter out of what it's playing right now? Something which means that it's not only going to just like play that pattern, which is satisfying to me, it does what it does, and it goes in the way that it goes, but can we just do it in a sense that, hey, maybe we can get our track to just like go and do something different, which means I'm gonna go in Alt Mode, right? Then you see there's a step. You get all these different steps toggling through. I can go through the 16 steps that I have played already. 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, and it goes up all the way to whatever, I think up to 64 even. So what I'm going to do is, I know if I wanted to get a polymeter going, let's go for one that is a little bit more common, right? So I'm going to place 3 steps within the 16 steps that are being played. Now I've got step 3 engaged. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different measures. Maybe this one, and engage it with 9. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, all of a sudden now, what's happening right there? We got a polymeter engaged. Cool. Take it out with 9. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so now instantly I get to do crazy stuff here as well. I'm liking that. I'm gonna go back in. I'm going to engage it again with button 9. Take out a kick. 1, 2, 3, go. Boom, 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 boom. Whoa, I'm liking that. Okay, now I'm thinking, okay, can I engage this crazy machine right here? Okay, nice. And all of a sudden, we're making house music, right? We're making cool stuff. Let's look at the filters first. Turn this down. So that whole random thing that we started in the beginning all of a sudden starts to make sense right now, because you have put all your tracks in part. This is in part, the JP08, just part. This is dance music, right? It's not, we're not supposed to just like try and make stuff that needs to just go up on the wall in the museum, just trying to keep it simple as well. So I'm approaching everything from a simple part. So this is an, you know, once your track is going, you got all your grooves going, this is very cool to do, right? You go like, okay, yeah, I'm liking that. Cool. Okay, I've got another track right here. Let's see, I've got a snare. Yeah, I've got a snare for my drums where I'm going to stick it. Let's get out of there. Cool, got my snare going. And the snare is here, so if I can't mute it here because I'm doubling up on these tracks, you know, I've got a tom and a kick on track 1, I've got a clap and a snare on track 2. Obviously I've split it out on the mixer so that if I don't need it, because I think after a few minutes you're going to get a little bit crazy of that snare drum playing. We'll just turn it off right here. Nice, cool. On the higher track I'm thinking I can use a ride cymbal right there. Right in, boom. So we're gonna rise it. And every time when I play something, I don't try to play it straight in, right? Dun, dun, dun. I just try to just like add something towards the end of the bar so that the groove gets a little bit of a cadence, right? Cool, cool. Place it with a snare, kick out. Right out. So now instantly it feels like there's a lot of stuff moving, but everything's just being placed in its own holding pattern, which is what I like. So play around with the DFAM, adding even more white noise. So I have not engaged the pitch mode. I've got 2 oscillators engaged. One, both of them with that triangle wave. I can even go in and grid it up a little bit more, so now it becomes even more aggressive. So you can also look at the sound and how you want to enhance the sound a little bit more. Like for instance, this hi-hat is pretty closed up. If I was to say like, okay, DFAM, you need to pick a fight with someone, so now it's all nice, but you know, yeah, mad. The hi-hat needs to get mad as well. If I then think, hey, my kick is not mad enough, I've got the Velcro distortion here. Engage it, and all of a sudden, mad. So, the same pattern, but all of a sudden now it's 4 in the morning, you know? It's not 11 at night anymore, right? That still works though. And this is what I like. So, and then I'm thinking, okay, okay, maybe it's a bit much. Let's go in and simplify it a little bit more. Okay, kick out, off. Nice, okay. The kick is toned down, let's tone down the hi-hat again. Let's tone down my DFAM, first short note. So I can hide that in the background so you didn't hear me switch it. So back to that other waveform. Slowly closing the hat and then messing around with the pads are hypnotizing. Going to the bass line, filtering down the JP08, and again going into that mode, knowing that it's also on a first step. It says end, so step 1, 2, 3, that's where we are. There you go. There's my melody again. Turn this down. So what just happened, really? Let's stop it. What happened is I approached the music making aspect and the just jamming aspect from a different perspective. I think there needs to be maybe a 50-50 balance between what you play and what you want these machines to do. A lot of people just like get machines and think that they're going to do the work for them. In a way it can be done, but I would suggest to look at the strengths of your machines and then play along with it. The JP08, I love it to bits. Do I like the sound of it? I can enhance it a little bit, so it's going through the Acid Box 3. So now it gets a really that classic sort of like analog feel to it. So now all of a sudden I can fit it into these bad boys like it's Moog over here. You don't want to pick a fight with these cats. They're going to kick your butt, you know what I mean? So these are big machines that do big stuff. So whatever you do, think big. How many tracks did I use for my drums? I really only used 4 tracks for the drums. I played what I thought was very, very mandatory to have. Making dance music, kick drum, clap drum, hi-hat. And then the tom, you can debate, do you need it? Well, I think I do, because when I play my stuff like this, okay, yes, I've pitched the tom, I pitched it ahead of time, yeah, okay. But then you can debate, you know, you don't have to, you know, you look at the case. So I pitched it to a C. C chord was easy for me. Not making it too long, just looking at the length and see how that works, you know what I mean? Just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Because this in itself is something you would dance to on a dance floor. There is a balance between the notes and between the sounds, I should say, frequency wise, but I do think that that's a different video. But then to keep it simple, I just move all the big stuff out of the way. So kick drum, big frequency, tom, also big frequency because it's low end content, right? So then the bass line should be next usually. So bass line's on 1. And if I can hear all these things very clearly, turning this up a little bit. Yeah, playing around with the envelope generation amount to have it stand out a little bit from the kick, which is very loud. I love it a little bit. You have to forgive my Rotterdam Gabba background. I was really driving the kick here. But yeah, you know, this is what it usually sounds like. Okay, so now we got these sounds working, right? You can clearly hear the three sounds. You can debate that you don't hear a little bit attack on the bass line. Shorter notes, envelope generation amount. Cool. And then it's up to the clap. Then you instantly hear like, okay, that clap can be louder a little bit, I think, yeah. Not too loud. Next up, hi-hats, right. And this can be softer. Then again, I love my hi-hats to be loud, so that's my thing. Bassline is still very audible, right? And then obviously add in the pads. Take it a kick. 1, 2, 3, and add it as an effect. How simple is that? You know what I mean? So yeah, cool. Thinking, okay, love this bass line, still going back in and play that polymeter, engage it again, like so. Step 3, engage it. There you go. And you get the different endpoints within the steps, right? So if you got 16 steps, you can just represent them through the 1 to 6, and then 9 engages it. Well, there you go. What can I tell you? Enjoy yourself. I'm gonna jam it out a little bit. Yeah, go. I have finally finished a tune that I called DFAM Jam 1. I was looking for a creative track title. It didn't happen. DFAM Jam 1. It's up on my Bandcamp. You can just get it for measly, I don't know. You know, won't be breaking the bank, but just go do and check it out. As I'm in love with DFAM, I love what it does. I really enjoy the, I love that thing a bit. So I made a jam with it, and I managed to record everything and just so that's available on Bandcamp. So go and check that out. There's some more tunes on there as well, and I promise to do better. I promise to upload more tracks to Bandcamp. Okay, now on the mixer front, I'm so happy. We're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. Why did I say that 3 times? Because we are getting there. So what is happening is that we're now, the dual concentric EQ works. Yes! So that's also cool. We are looking at a Neumann EQ that we've mimicked a little bit, the way the curves were. And Ferry, the designer, said like, you know what, let's base it on something that I know is very warm sounding, very cool sounding. So there's a Neumann EQ, old school vintage EQ, that he has mapped out, and then that's what the dual concentric EQs are doing. So now master section done, we've got our EQ section on the master section done, we've got the master amplifying stuff done on the mixer, and now we're on to individual channels. So there's still questions. How many channels is this mixer going to house? I'm thinking to bread it up, you know. So if you would like this, if you like the sound of it, I do think you're going to like the sound, as we based it around Carnival transformers. For those nerds out there that know, that's the stuff that's on the Neve stuff, on the Neve console. So, you know, getting a Carnival transformer in there is, yeah, it sounds pretty awesome, which is a different approach. So this analog mixer's got a master section, and then I'm thinking, running out of space on my mixer, maybe I should just look at how many different channels I can use. Starting off with basic 6 channels or maybe 4, and then you can just build it out. So we're thinking on that idea. So the faders section should be next, and then it's just like looking for a box and putting everything in there, testing if everything works, getting some feedback from you guys as well. And yeah, it's been a process that has been taking a long time, but you know what? It's cool to just like measure twice, cut once, maybe, you know what I mean? If you made it this far into the video, you, sir or ma'am, are an absolute superstar. Thank you for being here. I'm Analog Kitchen. I'll catch you next week on another video. I'm Analog Kitchen. Keep watching this space, and I'm out.